Last week I got a DM that honestly broke my heart a little bit. This guy wrote me, "Shane, I've watched all your videos about making money online, but I feel stuck. I don't have any special skills. I don't have any fancy degrees. I don't have any experience that seems valuable. Am I just screwed?" He went on to talk about how he was frustrated with the job market, jobs being outsourced, AI, and he just felt like there just weren't any opportunities for him. And that message hit me hard because I remember feeling the exact same way when I was starting out. That sense that everyone else has some secret knowledge or skill set that I was missing. And here's the truth that nobody talks about enough. Some of the most profitable side hustles out there require zero previous experience. You don't need special talents. You don't need a degree. You just need to be willing to take action while everyone else is sitting around waiting for permission. So because of this guy's message, today I'm gonna be breaking down the 9 side hustles that you can start with absolutely no experience. And this is not the BS take surveys for pennies garbage that other YouTubers promote. I'm talking about side hustles that can actually grow into a significant income stream if you stick with them. And I'm gonna be real with you about everything. The startup costs, how long until you can expect to make money, and exactly how to get your first clients or customers. Plus, I'm gonna help you figure out which one would be the best for you and your personality type. No fluff, no hype, just the raw truth about how to start making money from scratch. And if you appreciate me making this type of content, go ahead and let me know by gently tapping that like button. And let's dive into these no experience required side hustles, starting with number 9, which is print on demand. Now, you may have heard of print on demand before, but I'm gonna be talking about a very specific type of print on demand. So print on demand is a business model where you create designs for products like t-shirts, mugs, posters, and phone cases, but you don't handle any inventory or shipping. And companies like Printify, Printful, or Redbubble print and ship the products whenever someone makes a purchase. And the reason this is perfect for beginners is that you don't need any design experience. I'll explain why in a minute. You don't need to buy inventory up front. You don't need to handle fulfillment, and you can start with literally $0. Now, I know what you're thinking. Shane, you said no experience, but don't I need to be a designer? Well, not anymore. With AI design tools like Midjourney, DALL-E, and even Canva's AI features, not to mention the fact that ChatGPT just came out with a new AI design feature, you can create sellable designs with literally zero design skills. You just need to understand what designs will appeal to specific demographics and specific audiences. Let me show you how simple this is. Let's say you want to create t-shirts for dog lovers, but not just any type of dog, a very specific type of dog. Wiener dogs, or Dachshunds if you want to be more technical about it. You might use an AI tool to generate a cute illustration of a wiener dog. And you could even include a funny slogan, like, "Did you just assume my dog breed?" Because we all know that just about every wiener dog thinks they're secretly a wolf. Then you upload that to a platform like Redbubble, add relevant tags, and you're done. When someone buys it, Redbubble handles everything else and you get a royalty. Now, I met this girl at a business conference who started a print-on-demand store focused on designs for nurses. And she had zero design experience, but she used AI tools and simple templates, and within 3 months, she made over $1,000 in profit, about $1,200 to be specific. And then it's grown every month since then, and she now has a very profitable business. Now, the keys to success with print on demand are picking a specific niche rather than trying to create designs for everyone, which is really the key to just about every business model out there. Then also creating designs that trigger an emotional response, then using AI tools and templates to create professional looking designs, and listing your products on multiple platforms to maximize visibility. Now, this is not a get rich quick scheme at all. It typically takes 2 to 3 months of consistent effort and likely trying out a bunch of different designs before you start seeing any meaningful income. And chances are your first 10, 20, maybe even 30 designs are not going to make any money. But the beauty here is you're not risking anything. And there's always a chance that you make a design that takes off and makes a ton of money. So this is a legitimate way to build a side income with zero experience and minimal startup costs. All right, next side hustle is social media management. And specifically, I'm gonna be talking about local social media management. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Social media management, don't you need experience for that? Well, the secret that most people don't realize is local businesses have such low standards for social media that even a complete beginner can provide massive value, especially if you're someone who spends a lot of time on social media. Now, the vast majority of local businesses, restaurants, salons, boutiques, service providers, etc., either have no social media presence or a terrible one that they barely update. So you don't need to be a social media guru. You just need to be willing to post consistently, take decent photos, which even that is optional these days, write basic captions, and respond to comments and messages. That's literally it to start. And you can learn these skills in a weekend. Now, you can also do online social media management. It's just easier to get started with local businesses. Then once you build up your portfolio, get some experience in, you can expand online and make a lot more money there. But here's how to get started with zero experience. First, pick a type of local business that you're interested in. Restaurants, real estate agents, boutiques, whatever. Second, look at their current social media and identify obvious improvements. For instance, more consistent posting, better photos, basic engagement, etc. Third, create a simple proposal offering to manage their social media for $300 to $500 per month to start. And honestly, with AI tools, this might only take you 2 to 3 hours per week per client. Now, this is actually how I got my start when it comes to digital marketing. But instead of social media management for local businesses, I actually ran Facebook ads. However, Facebook ads are much more advanced now, and there's a lot of people doing that. But there's way more opportunity now in content marketing, aka social media marketing. And the beauty of this is it's quite easy to get some initial experience, build up your portfolio so that when you then target bigger businesses that have more money and charge higher rates, you can say, oh, well, I already did it for all these businesses. Whereas if you just came to them with no experience, chances are you wouldn't be able to close them. Now, as you gain experience, you can increase your rates, add more services, and become more efficient with scheduling tools and content batching. And the best part about this side hustle is you can land your first client this week if you're willing to have a few conversations with local business owners. And it's really just as simple as walking into their business, introducing yourself, and telling them about what you offer. Now, the next side hustle is one of my all-time favorites. This is one that I made money with for many years. Even as a teenager, I was making money doing this, and that is reselling. This is also known as flipping. And basically what it is you buy items at a low price and then you sell them at a higher price and you make a profit. Now, this is probably the most accessible side hustle on the list because literally anyone can do it. And you can start with whatever small amount of money you have available, or you can start by just selling stuff around your house. And the concept is simple. Find undervalued items at thrift stores, garage sales, clearance sections, or even online marketplaces, and then sell them for a profit on platforms like eBay, Facebook Marketplace, Poshmark, etc. And you don't need any special knowledge to start. You can literally use your phone to look up items while you're shopping to check their resale value. For example, you might find a brand name jacket at a thrift store for $15 that sells for $60 to $80 online. Or you might find toys on clearance at 70% off that you can sell for full price during the holiday season. And when I first started doing this, I would buy and sell bicycles. I'd also buy and sell phones, computers, etc., etc. Now, to be fair, this is probably the oldest side hustle known to mankind. The original merchants way back thousands of years ago did this exact thing. They would go and buy stuff from foreign countries, for instance, spices, make the trek back to their country, and then sell it for a massive profit. And you can start with whatever budget you have. And you see profits very quickly, often within days. And the business scales with you as you learn even more. And you don't really need any technical skills or specialized knowledge, and as you gain experience, you'll develop an eye for profitable items and niches to focus on. Many successful resellers eventually specialize in categories that they become knowledgeable about, like vintage clothing, collectibles, or electronics. For instance, I know one guy who would buy keyboards and then he would take out the individual keys and sell them on eBay. And he might buy a keyboard for $20 and then sell all of the individual keys for hundreds of dollars. Now, this is not the most passive option on the list, but it's definitely one of the fastest ways to start making money with zero experience. The next side hustle is AI-assisted content creation. And this is a brand new opportunity that simply didn't exist even a couple of years ago. And it's perfect for beginners because AI tools do most of the heavy lifting for you.
I had hoped you would come to think of me as your friend.
Now, as an AI-assisted content creator, you use tools like ChatGPT, Claude, or specialized AI writing tools to help businesses create content like blog posts, social media captions, email newsletters, product descriptions, website copy, or even YouTube videos. And you don't need to be an amazing writer. You just need to know how to use AI tools effectively with good prompts, edit and polish AI-generated content to make it sound natural, and follow basic content briefs from clients. Now, let me be clear. You're not just copying and pasting AI outputs. You're using AI as a tool to create first drafts that you then improve and personalize. And the value you provide is the human touch and the quality control. Now, just as an example, my student had no writing background whatsoever, and she started offering AI-assisted blog posts to small businesses for $50 per 1,000-word article. article. And each post at first took her about an hour to create using AI tools and then edit. And within 2 months, she had 5 regular clients and she was making around $1,000 per month from about 20 hours of work. And as she gained experience, she increased her rates to $100, then $150 per article, effectively tripling her hourly rate. Now, the startup costs for this side hustle are minimal. Just a subscription to an AI tool, which is around $20 a month. Then you might want to get a grammar checker like Grammarly, which is around $12 a month. And that's about it. I've also taught hundreds of people how to make really good YouTube related content with AI. And it's utilizing AI to make your content better. I'm not talking about the crappy slop content that a lot of people make and then put on shorts. And if you want to know how to use AI to make content, that is included in my full guide on YouTube content creation, which I'll put down in the description and the pinned comment below. All right, so the next side hustle is going to be a virtual notary. Now, to be fair, you could also do this locally, and in that case, you would be a mobile notary. And this side hustle has exploded in popularity since the pandemic. Now, my good friend Seth is the one who made me aware of this, and he's basically a coach that helps people get into digital marketing jobs. And he told me that one of his students had become a notary and was making really good money doing it. And the crazy thing is it requires absolutely zero previous experience, just a certification that anyone can get. And as a virtual notary, you notarize documents remotely via a video call, and you verify the signer's identity, witness them sign electronically, and apply your electronic notary seal. And the process to become a notary varies by state, but it generally involves taking a short course, often just a few hours, passing a basic exam, submitting an application with your state, getting a background check, and purchasing a small bond. And the total startup costs typically range from $100 to $300 depending on your state. And once certified, you can notarize documents from home, charging $25 to $50 per notarization, which usually takes around 15 to 20 minutes. And if you specialize in certain types of notary, like loan signing packages, you can charge $75 to $150 per session. So this side hustle is completely legitimate, it's regulated, it can't be outsourced to another country, and it can't be automatically done with AI. Plus, you can do it entirely from home, the demand is high and growing, the certification process is straightforward, and the earnings are immediate once you're certified. So this isn't going to make you a millionaire, but it's a stable, legitimate side income that requires no special skills or experience beyond what you learn in the certification process. All right, the next side hustle is AI prompt library creation. And this is one of the newest opportunities on the list. And it's absolutely perfect for beginners because it doesn't require any technical skills. You can learn the basics in a weekend. The market is exploding right now, and there's very little competition. Now, an AI prompt library is simply a collection of effective prompts for specific use cases. For example, you might create 50 ChatGPT prompts for real estate agents, 100 Midjourney prompts for e-commerce product images, 30 Claude prompts for small business owners. Or you can see my prompts for YouTube, which I'll put down in the description in the pinned comment below, again, in that guide. Now, you don't need to be an AI expert. You just need to experiment with different prompts, find what works well, and package them together for specific audiences. And these libraries typically sell for $27 to $97 as digital products. And you can sell them on platforms like Gumroad or through your own simple website. Now, my student had zero tech background, but he was interested in AI. And he created a library of 75 prompts for coaches and consultants to use with ChatGPT. And he priced it at $47 and sold 35 copies in his first month just by sharing it in relevant Facebook groups and on LinkedIn. That's over $1,600 for about 20 hours of work. And since then, it's generated tens of thousands of dollars for him. Now, the startup costs are basically zero, just the time to create and test your prompts. And what makes this opportunity especially good for beginners is that you can position yourself as one step ahead of your customer. You don't need to be the world's greatest AI expert or anything like that, right? You just need to have spent more time experimenting with prompts than the people that you're selling to. All right, next we have self-publishing low content books. Now, low content books are publications with minimal text that are designed for the reader to fill in. Think journals, planners, logbooks, coloring books, puzzle books, quote books, etc. And the reason this is perfect for beginners is you don't need to be a writer, designer, or even have publishing experience. And with tools like Canva and Amazon's Kindle Direct Publishing or KDP, you can create and publish these books with basically zero upfront costs. And then Amazon prints them on demand whenever someone makes a purchase. So let's break down the process. You choose a type of low content book and a specific niche. You create simple interior pages using templates in Canva. You design a cover or use AI tools to help you do that. Then you upload to Amazon KDP and you set your price, typically $6.99 to $12.99. And then Amazon handles the printing, shipping, customer service, etc. Then you earn royalties, typically $2 to $5 per book, and bada bing. That's it. Now, one of my clients, Sean, who I've helped grow on YouTube, has a bunch of clients who have been doing this. Some of the clients create like a series of specialized logbooks for dog breeders, for instance, and they didn't really have any previous design or publishing experience. And the student is making thousands of dollars a month without any ongoing work. And there's a bunch of examples that he has. Now, the keys to success with this side hustle are picking a specific niche rather than creating generic journals, creating books that solve specific problems or specific interests, having professional looking covers, which you can easily make with templates, and creating multiple books to build a catalog. Now, this is not an overnight success story. It typically takes 2 to 3 months before books start gaining traction and sales. But once they do, it can be very passive income that can continue for years with minimal maintenance. All right, another great side hustle is content repurposing services. And this is an incredible opportunity for beginners because you don't need to create original content. You just transform existing content from one format into multiple formats. And here's how it works. Businesses, entrepreneurs, and creators are constantly producing content. They could be podcasts, videos, live stream, webinars, etc. But most of them aren't maximizing that content by turning it into multiple formats. And as a content repurposer, you take their long form content and then you transform it into short form videos like TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, blog posts, social media posts, email newsletters, audiograms, quote graphics, etc., etc. And the best part is you can use AI tools to help with much of this process, which makes it even easier for beginners. Now, my student started a content repurposing service with zero experience. He approached podcast hosts and offered to turn each episode into 10 social media posts, along with 5 short form videos and a blog post. And he charged $300 per episode initially. And of course, he used tools such as Descript for transcription and video editing, ChatGPT for summarizing and rewriting, and Canva for graphics. And he could process an episode in about 2 to 3 hours. And within 3 months, he had 8 regular clients and was making over $2,400 per month. Now, the funny thing is, I work with clients that sometimes make over $10K per month, even over $30K, $100K. I even have a few clients making over $1 million a month. And of course, most of these clients are content creators themselves, but they still need people to do this stuff for them. Almost all my clients eventually end up asking me for this. And the costs are pretty low. For instance, Descript costs anywhere from $12 to $24 a month. Canva Pro is about $12.99 a month. And AI tools usually cost around $20 a month. Now, what makes this such a good opportunity for beginners is that the technical skills required are minimal and easy to learn. You're also leveraging content that already exists, and the value proposition to clients is clear. More content from their existing efforts, and the results are tangible and immediate. So to get started, identify creators or businesses producing long form content regularly, show them examples of how you could repurpose their content or even do a free sample, and then offer your services. Now, the next side hustle is AI website auditing or even AI YouTube auditing. So I'll use the example of websites, but you can do this with YouTube or even other social media platforms like Instagram. And this is another one that you can start with absolutely no experience. Now, this might sound technical, but here's the beautiful thing. AI tools do 90% of the work for you, which makes this accessible to complete beginners. And as an AI website auditor, for instance, you use specialized AI tools to analyze websites and identify issues related to SEO, which is search engine optimization, conversion rate optimization or CRO, user experience, loading speed, mobile responsiveness, and accessibility. Now, you don't need to be an expert in any of these areas because the AI tools provide detailed recommendations. And your job is simply to run the tools, pile results into a readable report, and present it to the business owner. And here's how to start. First, sign up for AI website auditing tools like Sitebulb or Surfer SEO. Then the easiest way to start is to run audits on local business websites or local businesses in general, create a simple report template highlighting the most important issues, and then approach business owners with a free mini audit showing 3 to 5 key issues. Then offer a full audit with recommendations for $300 to $500. And you can even upsell them on your services if you do some of the other ones that I talked about on the list, like social media management. Now, my student James actually does this with YouTube channels, and he had 0 YouTube experience before this, and he uses AI tools to come up with the audits. And he charged $297 for a comprehensive audit that took him about 2 hours to compile using AI tools. And after delivering several successful audits, he added an implementation package where he'd fix the issues for an additional $500 to $1,000. And within 4 months, he was making over $3,000 a month, spending about 15 to 20 hours per week on the side hustle. And you'd be surprised because a lot of actual legitimate businesses that end up selling for millions of dollars or even end up making millions of dollars a year start off this way. Now, the startup costs are minimal, just subscriptions to AI auditing tools, which typically range from $50 to $150 a month. And what makes this opportunity so perfect for beginners in 2025 is that the AI tools do the technical heavy lifting. Plus, every business with a website needs this service. You can show clear, tangible value in your initial outreach, and the results you provide have measurable business impact. Plus, it's a great great way to upsell to even higher level packages where you can make way more money. And as you gain experience, you can increase your rates. Now that we've covered these 9 side hustles, let's talk about how to actually get started when you have zero experience, because that initial hurdle is where most people get stuck. First, pick one side hustle from this list that aligns with yourself and your interests. Don't try to pursue multiple at once. That's an absolute recipe for failure. Second, give yourself permission to be a beginner. Your first attempts will not be perfect, and that's completely normal. Everyone starts somewhere. Third, create a minimum viable offering. Don't try to offer a premium service right away. Start simple, price yourself affordably, and focus on getting those first few clients or sales. Fourth, leverage free learning resources. YouTube videos, blog posts, and free courses can teach you the basics of any of these side hustles. You don't need expensive training to get started. And finally, commit to consistent action for 90 days. Most people give up within the first few days or the first few weeks. And these side hustles all work, but none of them work overnight. Now, one way to absolutely supercharge any of these side hustles is to start creating content, specifically on YouTube. This can be one of the absolute best ways to get clients, because instead of having to reach out to people to get clients and customers, they come to you. And I have so many examples of clients that are doing this. Guy, for instance, has a disability called tinnitus, where he always hears a ringing sound in his ears. And he made a YouTube channel where he basically reviews different tinnitus related products and he sells them. So he took something that is a very painful thing for him, tinnitus, and he turned it into a good thing that helps a ton of people out there. So life gave him lemons and he made it into lemonade, which I think is absolutely amazing. And now Guy is making thousands of dollars a month. And it gets a lot better than that. For instance, Nicole is a few years down the line now, and she started a small YouTube channel teaching people how to get into IT and cybersecurity related jobs. Then later on, she niched down and she's basically teaching women mostly how to get into very high level cybersecurity positions. And she's now making over $85,000 a month. And I have clients doing a lot more than that. For instance, Sean, the client that I mentioned before, started an Amazon KDP business where he eventually ended up making millions of dollars. Then he started teaching other people how they can do KDP as well. And now he's making well over $500,000 a month doing this. And he has hundreds of super happy customers. Now, the common thread in all of these stories is that they started with absolutely no experience. They just took action while others were making excuses. And if you're serious about building a successful side hustle with no previous experience, I want to invite you to book a call with me to discuss my Content Growth Engine program. In the program, I teach you how to create a hybrid personal brand, which gives you a massive advantage over anyone else making content. I teach you how to make content and make it efficiently and sustainably. For instance, my students have access to an in-house AI tool that we use to make content ourselves. And then third, we teach the students how to monetize that content. Now, this is a hands-on coaching program where you work one-on-one with experts. And we only work with people who are really serious about turning YouTube into a full-time business. So to apply for the program, go ahead and click the link down in the description and the pinned comment below to book a call. And if you get accepted to that call, we'll talk about where you are right now, where you want to go, aka your goal. We'll make a plan on how to get to your goal, and then we'll see if we're a good fit to work together or not. But whether you join my program or not, I hope this video has shown you that the lack of experience is not a valid excuse for not starting a side hustle in 2025. And the opportunities that I've shared today are accessible to anyone willing to take action. You don't need special skills, fancy degrees, or years of experience. You just need to be willing to start as a beginner and commit to the process. And also check out this video I made right here on how to be successful on YouTube.